Desire is never straightforward. It speaks through symbols, not words. Jacques Lacan. She says she's fine, but her tone slices the air. You ask what's wrong. She shrugs. You try to fix it. She turns colder. You don't understand. She was affectionate yesterday. You were connected, warm. Now she's distant, unreadable. You play back the last thing you said. You search for a mistake. You ask again. She pulls away further. You feel powerless, confused, like you've stepped into a room with no doors, no light, no map. But here's the truth. You have. You've entered the symbolic. Not her words, not her actions, but the invisible space where meaning is made and desire is born. Lacan said that desire never speaks directly. It moves through suggestion, absence, tension. It's not what she says, it's what's left unsaid. It's not what she does. It's the space between her gestures. And if you don't understand this, you'll always feel like you're chasing something just out of reach. Her love, her affection, her truth. But if you do understand it, you'll no longer be chasing. You'll be leading. See, most men operate in the realm of the literal. What did she say? What does it mean? How do I fix it? But the feminine doesn't live there. She lives in layers, in contradictions, in the electric hum between what she wants and what she fears. She tests, not to manipulate, but to feel you, to feel your structure, to feel if you'll collapse, to feel if your center is real, or just another performance trying to earn her approval. And when you flinch, when you explain, when you soften your truth to soothe her storm, she feels it. The collapse, the need, the absence of masculine gravity. And she grows colder. Not because she wants to, but because her unconscious no longer trusts your depth. You thought you were being kind. You were trying to make her feel safe. But safety without polarity is sterilization. Desire does not live in comfort. Desire lives in risk. Now here's what Lacan knew, and what modern men have forgotten. Desire is structured like a language, and language is never neutral. It's symbolic. It carries power, status, tension, rhythm. When she says, "I don't know what I want," she's not confused. She's expressing the truth of her unconscious. She wants to want. She wants to be moved. She wants to feel something real enough to disrupt her internal chaos. But you can't give her that by trying to calm her. You can't give her that by being nice. You give her that by being still, by being clear, by being unapologetically in your own frame, even when she tests it. And she will test it. Not because she's evil, but because her unconscious needs to know, can you hold me when I can't hold myself? Can you stay rooted when my emotions try to shake the ground? Can you remain a mountain when the storm rises? And if you can't, she leaves. Emotionally first, physically later. Not because she didn't care, but because you stopped speaking the language of her desire. You became readable, predictable, safe. And the feminine never longs for what is safe. She longs for what is true. And truth is always dangerous, always alive, always on the edge of something that could either shatter you or open you. So if you're still trying to decode her by logic, you've already lost. This isn't about logic. This is about the symbolic order, the invisible architecture of meaning that she swims in, even if she doesn't know it consciously. She'll say, "You never talk to me anymore." But she's not asking for words. She's asking for presence. She's asking for your full attention, the kind that feels her without needing to solve her. She'll say, "I feel like I'm too much." But she's not looking for reassurance. She's asking, "Can you hold the fire of who I am without running away?" And if you say the right thing, but your energy collapses, she'll feel it. Even if she nods, even if she smiles, she feels it. And you lose her. Now pause. Ask yourself, how many times have I tried to explain myself instead of simply standing in my truth? How many times have I tried to calm her down instead of letting her storm pass through me, untouched? How many times have I reached for her emotionally, not from grounded desire, but from anxious fear? That's the fracture. That's where polarity dies. And until you see this, you'll keep attracting chaos, confusion, and collapse. But once you see it, once you stop reacting to her surface and start attuning to the symbolic charge underneath, everything changes. You start to hear what isn't being said. You feel the space between her words. You recognize the rhythm of her desire. And you learn how to lead within it. Not by controlling, but by holding. Not by fixing, but by witnessing. And this, brother, is the beginning of true power. Not performance, not manipulation, but presence. The kind of presence that allows her to soften not because you made her feel safe, but because she feels the edge of your depth. The grounded intensity that does not chase, that does not beg, that does not flinch. You become the axis, the still point. She moves. You remain. That's the beginning. And it only deepens from here. And now, you start to see her differently. You stop asking, what does she want from me? And you begin to ask, what does her desire want to reveal through me? That's the shift. From control to presence. From decoding her actions to reading the symbolic pulse beneath them. You begin to notice the patterns, the pull, the push. The way she says nothing's wrong while her body tightens. The way she leans in only after you stop pursuing. It's not about games. It's about energy. And every moment with her is a test of your ability to stay rooted in it. She doesn't want you to disappear into her. She wants to collide with your center and survive it. She wants to know that your world doesn't dissolve at the sight of her beauty or the sound of her tears. Because what she's truly seeking is not your validation. It's your truth. Not a nice truth. Not a polite, socially accepted, diluted version of masculinity. But the raw, unshakable truth of who you are, without her approval, without her applause. And when you give her that, when you can look into the fire of her emotions without trying to put them out, she begins to feel something ancient. Safety? No. Desire. The ache to surrender into something stronger than her fears, something deeper than her doubt, something that cannot be controlled, but will never lose control of itself. You think she wants answers? She doesn't. She wants your mystery. Not confusion, not chaos, but mystery. The kind of mystery that comes from a man who knows who he is, but is still wide open to life. The kind of man who can say, I see your storm. I won't run. I hear your silence. I'll stay. I feel your edge. I won't flinch. She wants to be undone, but only by a presence that cannot be undone. And this is where most men fail. They confuse her storms for rejection. They take her tests as attacks. They try to solve her when she never asked for a solution. She asked for containment, not control. Containment. The sacred masculine vessel that holds without crushing, that surrounds without suffocating, that stays even when she's at her most unlovable. Because she doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be real. She'll cry and scream and shut down, not to hurt you, but to see. Will you stay with me here, or will you vanish like the rest? Most men vanish. Emotionally, energetically, spiritually. They retreat into logic, they lecture, they collapse, and her nervous system registers the drop. Even if she doesn't say it, she knows. He's gone. But when you stay, when you breathe through the discomfort, when you remain still as she searches for your cracks, she begins to relax into you. And that, my brother, is when real intimacy is born. Not from comfort, but from intensity held in stillness. Now you're not just the man she loves, you're the man her body trusts, her unconscious trusts, her symbolic mind trusts. Because in the realm of the symbolic, desire is always about the other, the one who reveals you to yourself, the one who mirrors back your deepest structure. You're not just there to touch her skin, you're there to hold her soul. But that requires a price. Your ego. You will have to let it die. You will have to stop chasing approval, praise, recognition. You will have to stop needing to be the good man in her eyes. Because that man, that version of you, he's not real. He's made of smiles and nice texts and soft-spoken apologies. He's a ghost. She can feel it. What she's waiting for is you. The man who can say no. The man who won't bend. The man who would rather walk away in truth than stay and betray himself. This doesn't mean cruelty. It means clarity. It means you're no longer seeking her energy. You're offering yours. You're no longer adjusting to her waves. You're anchoring the ocean beneath them. And now she starts to change. Not because you changed her, but because your structure demanded it. She softens. She smiles more. She leans in. She wants to please you. Not out of fear, but out of deep, unconscious respect. Because now she feels what Lacan meant. Desire is not about what we lack. It's about what we are drawn to. Endlessly, unknowingly, symbolically. And you've become that symbol. The one she dreamed of but could never describe. You are not her therapist. You are not her savior. You are not her emotional sponge. You are the space where she can unravel and find herself again. Not because you fixed her, but because you never moved. That's the essence of masculine power. And it is rare. It is feared. It is misunderstood. But when she finds it, she doesn't just desire you. She devotes herself to you. Not because you demanded it, but because every fiber of her being recognizes you as real. And in a world full of masks, noise, and emotional performance, realness is the highest aphrodisiac. But let's go deeper, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. You see, desire is not about what's pleasurable. It's about what's charged. And sometimes what charges her is your absence. She'll pull back just to feel the ache of missing you. She'll provoke a fight just to feel your edge. She'll flirt with danger, chaos, drama, just to awaken a response that makes her feel alive again. You might think she's being difficult. You might think she's sabotaging the relationship. But from a Lacanian lens, what's really happening is this. She's trying to reignite the symbolic tension. She doesn't want comfort. She wants intensity. Not chaos, but meaning. And meaning is born from contrast, from polarity, from the electric space between your masculine depth and her emotional wildfire. But you've been taught to fear that fire. You've been told that emotionality is a problem, that mood swings are irrational, that passion should be managed, measured, softened. And so you learn to suppress your truth, to tiptoe, to make everything nice. But in doing so, you became invisible, forgettable. Just another man she can't feel anymore. Now look, she doesn't want you to be cruel, but she does want to feel your edges. She wants to know that when she presses against your boundaries, you won't collapse. That when she tries to control you, you won't trade your fire for her approval. That when she emotionally spins, you don't lose your gravity. Because that, to her unconscious, is love. That is the signal of the other. The one who can withstand her truth without disintegrating. And if you can't hold that, she'll take over. She'll lead. She'll become masculine by necessity. Not because she wants to, but because someone has to fill the absence of structure. And in doing so, she resents you, desires you less, feels disconnected, even if she can't explain why. But when you stop being afraid of her fire, when you let it burn without trying to fix it, when you stand in your truth even if it costs you her temporary comfort, you become unforgettable. Because in that moment, you are no longer reacting to her. You are revealing yourself through her. And this is where the alchemy begins. Now, your stillness has heat. Your silence has power. Your presence becomes a mirror she cannot ignore. She starts to reveal more, to open, to surrender, not because you demanded it, but because her body, her mind, her unconscious trusts you. And this trust isn't logical. It's primal. It's symbolic. Lacan spoke of the mirror stage, how the self is first formed through reflection. She sees herself in you. And if what she sees is a man who collapses, she sees her own chaos reflected back, unheld, unclaimed, unsafe. But if she sees a man who holds his center, no matter how loud her storms become, she sees herself as worthy of being held. She sees her own wildness as something that doesn't need to be fixed. She sees her emotions as something beautiful, not broken. You don't have to say anything profound. You don't have to be a genius or a poet. You just have to be present, fully, fiercely, relentlessly. No flinching, no pleasing, no apologies for your truth. You'll feel the urge to fix her when she cries. You'll feel the need to explain yourself when she's cold. You'll feel the panic rise when she says, "I need space." But if you can breathe through all of that, if you can hold your posture without hardening your heart, she'll melt. Not all at once, not on your timeline, but it will happen. Because she's not testing you for fun. She's testing for truth. Are you who you say you are? Are you as grounded as you seem? Are you still the man she met? Or just another mask that falls when things get hard? She doesn't need perfection. She doesn't even need constant peace. She needs structure. A man with depth. A man with direction. A man whose self-respect cannot be negotiated. Not even for her love. Especially not for her love. Because if your truth bends to her approval, she knows she can't trust it. And without that trust, there is no polarity, no seduction, no mystery, just routine, disconnection, emotional death. And that's when the spiral begins. She becomes colder. You try harder. She loses desire. You become resentful. But you can reverse it, not by becoming who she wants, but by becoming who you are, fully, unshakably, unapologetically. And when that version of you stands before her, she sees something rare. She sees a man who doesn't seek to be chosen, but who knows he is the chooser. A man who doesn't beg for connection, but creates it through his presence. A man who can walk away at any moment, but stays by choice. That's when she lets go. That's when the walls drop. That's when her body begins to trust again. Because this is what feminine desire truly longs for. Not a man who gives her what she wants, but a man who awakens what she forgot she had. Her depth, her surrender, her fire. And only a man rooted in his own truth, symbolic, present, unwavering, can do that. But now we arrive at the final threshold, the point where most men retreat, where even the strong ones break. Not because they aren't capable, but because they were never taught what to do when the mask of good man no longer works. Here's the truth. She doesn't want the man who gives her everything she says she wants. She wants the man who gives her what she truly needs. Even if she doesn't understand it at first, she'll resist. She'll test. She'll pull away. She'll say, "You've changed." And in a way, she's right. You've changed because you stopped orbiting her. You've changed because you finally remembered who you are. And now, you're no longer trying to win her. You're revealing yourself to her. The man who doesn't break when she screams. The man who doesn't flinch when she shuts down. The man who doesn't shrink when she's unimpressed. Because it was never about her being impressed. It was about you being embodied. A man in his symbolic truth doesn't need her attention. He becomes her obsession. Not through manipulation, not through strategy, but because her unconscious recognizes him. Like a tuning fork to her nervous system, she vibrates in his presence. And now, everything changes. She becomes more affectionate, more devoted, more trusting, more feminine. Not because you demanded it, because you earned it, through presence, not performance. She starts saying things like, "I feel so safe with you. I don't know what it is, but I can finally let go. You make me feel like a woman again." And she won't even realize that what she's really saying is, "You remind me of who I am, because you never forgot who you are." That's what creates true seduction. Not words, not gifts, not pretending to be what you think she wants, but truth. Your truth, your clarity, your containment, your unwillingness to betray yourself, even for love. That is the real masculine seduction. It doesn't chase. It doesn't perform. It doesn't adjust itself to avoid disapproval. It holds. It claims. It stands, even when everything around it trembles. So ask yourself now, are you still trying to be liked by her? Are you still trying to earn her desire? Or are you ready to embody the symbol she's unconsciously starving for? Because this world is not short on men. It's short on structure. It's short on men who are rooted, still, untouchable at their core. She doesn't need you to make her feel better. She needs you to remind her of reality, not the surface-level version. The deep, slow, thunderous truth beneath her chaos. The one that doesn't move for mood swings or tests or drama. That's what turns her on. That's what makes her say, "I don't know what it is about you, but I can't stop thinking about you." And when you get here, truly here, you stop reacting. You stop overthinking. You stop needing anything from her. You become the symbol of what she's always longed for but never knew how to ask. A man whose depth makes her trust her own. And when you embody that, when your presence becomes the message, you don't just become attractive, you become magnetic. And that magnetism can't be taught, it can't be faked, it can only be earned by doing the internal work that no one else sees. So if you've felt something stir in you during this journey, if you've seen yourself in these words, then this is your call. Not to impress her, not to decode her, but to become the man who no longer needs to. That's what she truly desires. And if this hits something inside you, something raw, something real, drop your thoughts in the comments. Speak from your truth. Let it be messy. Let it be honest. And if you want more of this, more of these untold truths, the things no one dares to say about women, desire, and masculine presence, then hit that subscribe button. This is just the beginning. Welcome to the place where the symbolic becomes real. Where masculinity is no longer just talked about, it's lived. And if you're ready to stop chasing women and start attracting them through who you've become, then stay, because everything changes from here.